Okay. So you mentioned that you're a Marxist. I find that very interesting. Why are you a Marxist? Why do you think that's an appropriate method of the analysis to the world?
Well, for one, Marxian economic critique is literally the foundation of modern sociology. Modern sociology is built almost entirely on critical theory, or at least most relevant
Yeah.
sociologists are. So that entire branch of study and every bit of influence it has across the world derives almost entirely from Marx. Additionally, I think the Marxian historical view, the historical
Yeah.
dialectic, is a pretty good way of examining history. Additionally, I think he has some cogent critiques of capitalism as they exist.
But does it not bother you that his critique is one-dimensional and his predictions are all wrong?
His predictions have, for the most part, been correct. He did not have a
Well, which
date
ones?
set. Which predictions were you referring to?
Okay, well, the first one, that the proletariat would increase as a percentage of the population and become poorer, that was wrong.
Well, the actual relative level of, I'm sorry, how do you say? Economic stratification has increased significantly with a smaller
That
number of
wasn't the
people
question.
holding. Could you
That wasn't the
repeat what you
question.
felt he was wrong about?
Yeah, the predicted that the proletariat would increase both as a percentage of the population and they would become poorer.
Well, right now, wealth is being consolidated in the hands of a fewer and fewer number of people, with smaller and smaller numbers of businesses
That's actually
controlling.
not true. There are more billionaires now than ever.
That has nothing to do with what I just said. Wealth is being consolidated in the hands of a smaller and smaller group of people. That has nothing
That's
to do
not
with whether or
true.
not there are. Yes, it is. Because
No,
the
it's not.
economics. Okay, hold on. The economic stratification that exists within our society has been growing, with the relative bottom 90% of the population growing relatively poorer to the wealth of the top 10%. And even within
Yeah,
that
but
top 10%, there's still a huge.
why would you measure it in those relative terms? Because it's actually not reflective of
Because
the
it's been
actual
150
that they're in.
because we've seen 150 years of technological advancement since Marx. Obviously, people are wealthier in a flat sense. Proportionally, we are poorer now than we were then
Yeah,
compared to the upper echelons of society.
the actual result of what's happened has been the inverse of what Marx predicted.
Marx did not predict that in the future people would literally have lower relative GDP per capitas,
Marx predicted that there would be more proletariat and
which
they
there
would be
are.
poorer. And there aren't. No, there are fewer proletariat and they are richer.
Well, there are more proletariat in a flat sense, and he did not say poorer in that. Well, the population of the
They're,
world has gone up. That was a bit of a joke there. I hope you
yeah, but
had
the
caught that.
proletariat are the working men, are they not? Like
Yes,
the
anyone who's
industrial
not
workers.
bourgeois.
Yeah, the industrial workers. Yeah, but that's a much smaller percentage and they get paid more. So Marx is wrong.
The
But the
wait, wait,
second
wait, wait,
one,
wait. What percentage of the population do you think is proletariat?
oh, well, I mean, like, if we're talking just like working class, about 25%.
No, proletariat means those who do not own the means of production, and it would be more in the ballpark, probably, of 99 to
Right.
95% of the
So
population.
the middle class have become the proletariat.
The middle
by
class have always
definition.
been the proletariat in a Marxian sense. How much do
Really?
you know about
Oh,
Marx?
I
Didn't you brag
I
about reading
suppose if you
Capital?
think so.
No, no, no. That's literally the Marxian definition. Didn't you lie about reading Capital?
No, I
This
read it when I was like 24.
Okay, this is just so you know, the flub that you just made is like 6th grade level. Proletariat
Wow,
does not
you
mean
teach Marxism in
poor.
6th grade.
If you were one of my students, then you would
Well,
be more educated on it than this.
how about this? I find it unlikely that
Just so
the
you
average
know,
communist. Listen,
proletariat means
yeah,
worker, bourgeois means owner. If you own the means of production,
right.
that is to say, if you're a
So
business owner or you have equity in a business, you are
right,
a bourgeois. And if you aren't, you are proletariat.
but that's kind of undermines your own position because that means that the proletariat are doing really well at the moment.
Well, proportional to the upper echelons of society, no. Economic stratification has increased tremendously. And in line
Proportional
with
to
Marxist
their
and
grandparents, they're
in
doing
line,
brilliantly.
yes, because technological advancements have led to a general increase in the quality of life. Marx didn't
Right.
say that wouldn't happen. Marx lauded capitalism for raising the standard of living for the average person. Marx lauded capitalism for being preferable to feudalism. You suggesting that he said people would be like flat poor in the future is ridiculous
He said that.
mischaracterization of his position.
Hey,
Well, I
hey, I hate
disagree.
to keep interrupting here, guys, but just to get a clear position, what is your positions on there being like the super wealthy, the billionaire class? I mean, that's what you guys are talking about.
Well, he said that they would decrease as a percentage of the population as well, but that's not true as well.
No, I didn't say billionaires. I said
No.
the bourgeois. Not billionaires, the bourgeois. And the fact, by the way, that there are more billionaires than ever is evidence that more wealth is being consolidated
But
into the hands of fewer people. Not
Vaush, you're talking. I just want clarity on your position. You're talking like that's a problem. That's something that needs to be.
I'm just
solved.
clarifying his misunderstanding of extremely Bayesian Marxist economics.
Right. So socialists sometimes they want to cap what a person can be worth. So what is your position on that?
I don't think there should be a flat cap. I think that society
Okay, so-
should be structured in such a way that there would be no way to become a billionaire. Under every billionaire, there are tens or hundreds of thousands of workers. No one just becomes a billionaire like themselves in a small project.
Class warfare.